Alright, so my dog's going nuts. It's making it difficult to do this. So if there's a little barking in the background, I'm sorry about that, but I just can't get her to shut up. So what we're going to be doing is making a video for how to make a slideshow, and I'm going to be making it eventually in iMovie, just because the students, and that's what we have available. If you're using Windows Movie Maker, Premiere, Final Cut, if you know how to use those programs, it's basically the same process. So I'm in actual Lightroom right now. Not a huge fan of Lightroom, but for doing this one specific process, it's really efficient. So let's assuming that you have all your images toned. The first thing you need to do is figure out is what ratio you want your images in. So the problem is an image like this that you normally shoot is shot in a 4:6 or 2:3 ratio. Video, however, is a 16:9 ratio. So if you want your image to fill up the screen full, you need to crop it in a 16:9 image. If you don't mind if the sides have a little black border over here, then go ahead and leave it 6:9. You're obviously, with vertical images, there's nothing you can do. They're going to be very small in the window and you're going to have a lot of black on the sides. If you want white or you want to put text on the images, in Photoshop you can crop and increase your canvas size. Make your canvas size 1920 by 1080 and then put your image in there, and then you can add type. And so I'll send one over to Photoshop to show you how to do that as well. So this first one I've cropped at 16:9. I'll crop this one as well, so if you don't know how to do it, it's easy in Lightroom. You just crop tool, you come over here to original, and then you want to change it to 16:9 or whatever ratio you want. And so it's going to give us the crop marks. I'll hit return and say that looks good. And so this is just some random images I picked. The tutorial is not to make a good video. I don't really have time to think about it. I'm just going to grab some audio, use these images, and show you how to lay it out. Then it's up to you to do something more sophisticated or more cohesive. All right, so we have our images here. So the next thing is to export. So what we're going to do is, well, let me do one in Photoshop real quick. So we will take something, we'll just use this one. So I'm going to use the command. So Command E will automatically launch into Photoshop. Alright, so we've got this image here in Photoshop, and so I want this to be square for this, what I'm going to do, and you can make it however you want. So I'm going to place the image over here, make it square, hit return. Alright, so one thing I have actually turned off, which normally you want, which is delete cropped pixels. So if I go back, I actually want to delete the cropped pixels in this circumstance. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to crop this image here, and I want those to be gone because canvas size won't work correctly if you don't delete your pixels. So hit D if you don't have black and white colors over here. You want your background to be white, or I want it to be white. It can be whatever color you want. So you're going to go into image size, and we need to resize our image so that the vertical height is the same as a window in a video. So we're going to make this 1080. Alright, so this will make sense in a second. Then we're going to go back into image size and go to canvas size. And I'm going to change this to pixels, and I'm going to make my width 1920. So, whoops, 1920. So now notice we're 1920 by 1080, which is a 16:9 ratio, which is the size of a video. So we're going to hit OK. And so we have evenly put white on both sides. So I will hit Command Z to undo that. So I will hit canvas size again. We will change this to pixels, change this to 1920. And if you change your anchor point to either side, so we'll change it to that side, you'll see it will add the information either to the left or the right. So for this case, we're just going to leave it over there. Then I will make this brush small. If you wanted to put type or anything you want to put over there, you can just literally put it in. We're just going to leave that. And so I'm going to take this and I'm going to save it. So when you launch from Lightroom into Photoshop, it automatically makes a copy of an image so that you can't duplicate it. So when we go back to Lightroom here, we should have 2 of those images. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select all my photos. So it's a shift click. So I'll do that again. So you click on, oh, go away. So you click on your first image. Not being happy. All right, there we go. Click on your first image. Click on your last image and hold down while you're holding down shift, and it will select everything. Then you're going to come up here to File, Export. So we're going to put the images into the same folder that they came out of. We're going to put into a subfolder called Slideshow Images Sized, so we know what we did. File naming. This actually might be helpful if you use something here. So we're going to do a custom name and sequence. So you could name them whatever you want. I'll name these dog. All right. And then it's going to add a -1, and we'll change that from TIFF. Then we're going to change this to JPEG, quality 100%, and we're going to actually change over to sRGB because the internet uses sRGB. We're going to go into image sizing, and this is really the key for what we're doing here. We don't want our long edge, we want our short edge, meaning the height, to be all the same. And so this is going to take care of all images. If we did the long edge, it would change things and make stuff difficult. It would make all our verticals way too big. So you want to make your short edge 1080, which is your small. Resolution doesn't matter, it has no effect on pixel size. We can change this for screen, and we'll just use standard. Metadata is not so important right here, though I leave it in. No watermark or anything, and then we're going to hit export. And so up here we can see we're exporting our files. Take just a bit to do that. All right. So then we're going to go into iMovie, which I have down here. And so I'm going to check new movie. All right. So normally you're going to hit new movie, and when it comes up, you can type it in. I've already done that, created. So we've seen slideshow. I can just do it again. We'll make a new movie. Comes up, double click, theme. I'll call this slideshow 2. Hit OK. Then this little arrow right here imports your information. So we're going to click that. And I don't remember where I put the stuff. So I think it was called Dogs and Chew or something. So let's organize these by name so it makes it easier. It's one of these folders. Yep. So here it is, slideshow images sized. So we'll open that up, and there's our images. We want to select all these. Same thing, shift click, import all. Alright, so now we have all of our images in here. And so this is pretty easy. All you need to do is, we'll make a title card first just for this because I think some of you might do that. So we're going to click up here on titles. And down here is where all of your titles are available. So we'll just use this gravity one, just something simple. So you're going to take this and just drag it down. So you can see it's saying 4.0. So that means that this is going to be 4 seconds long. So then you can come over here to the titles and text area, right? So it needs to be selected. Dogs is what I'm going to call it. We'll just make it simple. I can highlight that. So if I want to do anything, and in here somewhere, oh, it's right here. So here's our dogs. This allows us to choose different fonts. So I don't actually use iMovie. This is our font size, so we can change our font size if we want. You can also just type in a number as well. So justified left, centered, right, bold, italics, change your color. We'll make it bright green just for the fun of it. All right. So there we go. So now we have this, and you can see as I scroll along, it's animating that title. So we get rid of that, and we will go back to My Media. And here's where you're going to start sticking the images in. So I'm going to be doing this very random. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to pull it over. So right here changes the size of this window. So if you want it to be smaller, you just slide this. So right now we're at 4 seconds. I can grab that. You see how we have the line and the 2 arrows? And above it, it's giving me the time. So if I want this one to be 2.7 seconds, I can just leave it there. So notice it's moving. That's something that we can fix. So if we click on this image here, there's a whole bunch of like little animation or things that happen here, like the Ken Burns effect. We also have this. Most of these things up here are for doing actual video editing. So I double clicked on the image, and so this is showing us where this image started at and where it ends at. So if you want this to animate, so I'll have it come way down, start there and come down. And now if I hit the space bar on a Mac, that's gonna play it. See, it's panning through that. So notice I went over, so we're getting some black there. Do this again. Space bar. It's panning through that image. So if you want your image to pan or move, you can use that. And that's the Ken Burns effect. If you just want it to fit, you just hit fit. If you want it to crop to fill, you'll see what the difference is. It's now going to use this section, and that's going to be full frame. So if we just hit return, now you can see it's just going to crop and fill that frame full. So I'll double click this again, and if I just hit fit, it will leave the image with the black border. So I'll hit tap. It's not going to move, nothing's going to happen. So I'll come up here, grab my next image, I'll drag that down. We'll leave that one at 4 seconds just for the fun of it, and we will double click this, and we'll have this one move. So I'll start up here, and then I'll have it finish down here somewhere. Alright, so it overlaps, so start to end. Come over here, hit this, and so it will move through that image. So here is our image, one of our images that was sized for 16 by 9. So if I drag this over, I double click this, just hit fit, notice it fits perfectly. Very simple. Same thing with this image. We can just drag this over, double click it, hit fit, and it fits perfectly. I'll shorten this one up, make it small, make this one smaller. Alright, so let's grab this image. So I'll grab this image and we'll put this in the timeline. I will double click on it, crop to fill and fit. Notice they're both going to do the same thing because they've been sized. Make this one a little smaller. I'll have this image dragged over. I will double click on it and we'll have this one move. So we use this Ken Burns effect. So this one's gonna kind of zoom in, so I can change that. If I want it to be like this, I can grab those edges, do something weird. So I'm making this smaller to bigger. Alright, so drag this over, I'll hit the play, so you can see how that's panning and moving over. So simple effect. Alright, so last one, I'll just drag this image over. We'll just leave it in whatever default state it is. So the next thing is I hit the space bar and pan through these. Notice there's no transitions. They're just automatically going from one image to another. And in this case, it's not a huge issue. It's something that we can deal with. So I'll hit stop. If you want transitions, you come over to the transitions table. The basic one is a cross dissolve. You just drag that down and put it in between the two clips. And we'll just do a bunch of transitions just so you can see what they're like. So we'll leave that there. And the last thing I'm going to do is put an end slide, but I'm going to put it over top of an image just so you can see how to do it. So I'm going to pick this title. I want it up towards the top, so we'll just use this one, and I'm going to slide this down and make it smaller. Alright, and run. So as this one plays, that title will come and run over top of it. And just like anything else, you can double click on that and change the font. Alright, and so you could add an end slide here. I'm not going to waste my time and do it. So what we can do here is we can see we have this playing. Now we have different transitions within the video. Obviously, it's a better idea to stick with one transition. Alright, so the next thing we have is audio. So let's scroll over to the beginning, and we're going to come over here to the audio panel. And I'm going to grab some audio out of my iTunes library. So hopefully I have something in here, some sort of a song. I don't really use it, so, and something that I can use. Most of this stuff I'm pretty sure I can use. Let's click on time so we can get something longer. I have no idea what this is. So let's just play that, see what it is. Alright, so that'll work good. So we'll say that we actually like this. We're just going to drag this down and put it in our timeline. So it's automatically kept it to the length that you want it. So this allows you to raise, like lower this down and raise the volume. If you see over, I'm going to come over here, right here. When it turns red, that means the audio is clipping. So you want it below that. So right there looks good. So if I hit play, we have the audio playing in the background. I'll turn this up. My mic will pick it up. And we'll stop it right there. So the last thing that you can do is do what's called an audio overlay. So I'm going to hit this record voiceover button, and now I'm going to be talking, and it's going to be recording information over my video. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this voiceover is I'll just do one here at the end. Make Command Z what I just did. So it'll start right here. I'm going to hit my voiceover button, and I'm going to be talking, and hopefully as soon as I hit this button right here, it's going to start recording, and it's recording my voiceover to this very last frame. I'll hit stop. So I'll come, whoops, bring this new, I'm trying to grab that. Alright, the scrubber will scrub down to here. I'll hit record, and it's now going to be recording my voiceover. This is a bad voiceover, just so you can hear it. Alright. So we'll come back, and we can see we have the two voiceovers. I can lower this music if I want it to be softer. And there's ways, like if I decide I can, if this is where I want this voiceover, we can come in here and add a point and make this smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice that, and let me see what slice is here. Split clip, which is B. So I'll come here, and the audio is selected. I'm gonna hit Command B, and it's gonna select it, and then I'm gonna go over to the edge. I'm looking at this edge here. It will snap. Right, same thing. Command B, and I want to be in the audio. Okay, now we're gonna click in there. Hit Command B. It needs to be highlighted to do this. So now I've selected that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lower that audio in that section right there. So you'll hear that ambient piano get louder to softer, and then my voiceover will, you'll hear that. So we'll play that. This is a bad voiceover, just so you can hear it. So this has gotten a little bit too low. So we're going to bring that up a little bit more so you can hear it. So we're at like 17%. Running a little choppy. This is a bad voiceover, just so you can hear it. And that's about it. So that's adding some audio. Splitting a clip, and you can split any clip. You can split a video clip as well if you want, but there should be no reason to really be trimming clips in a slideshow unless you're actually using video. So we can go back to the beginning here, and so it will, well, this video will play there. It's not very long. So that's our intro. Our crazy dissolves between images, a Ken Burns panning effect, still image, voiceover, just so you can hear it, and then more voiceover. Voiceover to this very last frame, and that's it. So the last thing to do is export. So you just want to come up here to Share and File. So you're going to choose this. You can do this description. I'll just put slideshow 2, tags, iMovie. You can add whatever you want. Format, video and audio, as long as you want. If you just wanted video, you can do just video. I mean audio only. Resolution 1080p. So that's as high as you can do. Quality high. Or you can do best ProRes. So best ProRes can give you a higher quality but a much larger file size. So for this one, I'm just going to pick high. And then compress, use better quality, not faster. And so it's telling me over here, it's going to be 27 seconds long and 68.9 megabytes in size. If you go to best res, you can notice it made it up to 504 megabytes, so it'll be better quality. And since it's really relatively very small, I can leave this short slideshow like that. The only reason you would want maybe a smaller is for upload time, or something like YouTube's going to compress it anyways. So I will hit next. I'm going to put it into where I save videos. So all the videos I make, I have a folder called photography videos. I'm going to hit save. And so then you just have to wait for this to go. iMovie pops up with a little dummy thing like this lunch script right here that says your video's done. So this isn't going to take very long because it was very easy to render out. So you can see share successful. So now I can just go to my photography's videos. Let me think of where they're at. They're right here. So here's the slideshow. I can double click that. We can hit play. And here's our video. Our slideshow. And so this is just much better because you have a lot of control. And as you use something like Premiere or Final Cut, you can even do a whole lot more interesting effects if you want. So that's it. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know and I can add some information. But that's how to make a slideshow in Final Cut. Or not Final Cut, and iMovie. It's too early for me to be doing this. So thanks, and hopefully it's helpful. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment below. Please subscribe for my latest videos, and you can follow me on social media with the provided links.